Hey everyone, welcome to Kats Creations, live on Tuesday, September 22nd, 2020. I'm in the midst of putting together a Halloween wreath for my daughter, so I thought that I would do an impromptu, unannounced live, and then you guys can kind of watch me put this together. So the nice thing is while I had the majority of the materials already out, having her stop by, she could go through and pick out what ribbon she wanted, what sign she wanted. So I had a totally different sign, and then she flipped and wanted something a little. She has a group of feral cats that are out in front of her house, and so a lot of them are just black cats. There's an old calico mix, so she's looking for a Halloween wreath for her front door. So the sign that she picked is this one that says Black Cat Sanctuary, Salem, Massachusetts, since 1692, welcoming the strange and peculiar, with a black cat, which kind of goes hand in hand with her house, which is kind of like a black cat sanctuary. So if I get a chance, I'll take pictures and post those. The sign is a 12 by 6. It came from Three Birds Nest Co. on Etsy, so you can get the sign from her website. We're basically going to be doing a black and then a high metallic black and orange deco mesh. Both of these came from Craft Outlet. And then we're going to add enough ribbon using the 2.5-inch pumpkin, which came from Kringle Designs. Then we're also using a 2.5-inch harlequin, houndstooth ribbon, also from Craft Outlet. We're doing a 1.5-inch, I guess they call it raised white stitching on a black and orange plaid from Kringle Designs. We're doing a diagonal orange and black plaid from Kringle Designs. The harlequin black and white, this is from the Wreath shop. And then just a solid black canvas, also from Kringle Designs. So I'll give you all the measurements as I'm grabbing and starting that portion of the live. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to fix. Okay, let me go over the quick housekeeping. So if you like my videos and want to be notified when I go live, make sure you like and follow this page. That way, if you're on Facebook browsing and looking, you'll get notified that Kats Creations is live. You can go ahead and click on that link and it'll take you right to where we're currently live. If you like this design and want to replicate it, maybe later once you get all your supplies in hand, click the share button on this page. That way it shares it to your page. It's a little easier to find than trying to go on my page and look through all of my videos. If you're new here today, let us know so that we can try to pair you up with someone local who lives close to you or nearby. And YouTube subscribers. Make sure you guys are clicking the little bell at the top corner if you're on YouTube, and that will subscribe to my YouTube page, and then also you'll be notified whenever we load a new video. Also, all the materials and all the companies will be listed in the description box below for YouTube people. And I think that's it. So
yeah, we've got about 52 people on. Michelle, Sue, Diane, Carolyn, Marie, Melanie, Lorraine, Carol, Judy, Terry, and a bunch of other gals. And Isaiah said, my co-workers say hello.
Hi, Isaiah. So, yeah. So this wreath is like co-done between Kaylee and Isaiah. So this is one going up on their house. So we're going to finish wiring together a 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame with the orange and black pipe cleaners that I have handy. And let me grab the ones I have over here. So on a Dollar Tree 14-inch wreath frame, it has 6 sections. And the way that you're going to want to wire this, and you might want to zoom in, babe. Zooming in. So each section is wired exactly the same. So I just saved one to do on the live. That way it's not repetitive. You're going to take your first pipe cleaner and you're going to wire together the 2 innermost rings. Wiring them together creates stability so your pipe cleaners don't move. So I usually just try to sandwich them, like find a middle ground between the welds. So that's middle to me. And then we're taking our other two and we're using this and the weld mark to try to find a middle point and wire together the outer two. And then we're going to do the same on the opposite side.
So on the inner ring, she's wiring between wires 2 and 3?
No, 1 and 2. 1 and 2.
1 and 2? Okay.
Not 2 and 3.
1 and 2, and then the outside, right, she's doing between 3 and 4.
3 and 4, yes. So then we're all wired. So it leaves you 12 on the outside, 6 on the inside, and then we're ready to go ahead and start adding our Deco mesh. These are all cut to 25-inch pieces. We're going to be doing what's called the Cruffle. So to do a Cruffle, you're going to need a chip clip, a clothespin, something that'll hold your curls in place while you do both ends. So you're going to kind of get the look of a ruffle with a curl, and it's going to create a very full wreath. So you start on one end. Let me just stretch this out, that way you can see. I'm going to kind of move these off to the side to give me some more room. That way I can push this. And so I start the curl. If you have a hard time with your curls, just go ahead and fold the first piece and then roll. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to put a chip clip in it. I like chip clips because they're easier for me to find in my box. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Don't need a chip clip for this. And then you're going to bring the other curl right up to your fingers. And then this gives you the curls on the end, your ruffle in the middle, and then we're putting the finished edges towards the middle and then finished edges towards the outside. So I usually start in the middle, and we're going to put the black where the black is, and the orange is where the orange and black are going to go.
So this one, you're putting the curls on the bottom or on the top?
They're on the top.
Gotcha.
Okay, they're always on the top. And then we're going to go ahead and do this one the exact same way. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chip clip. And just because you start to get towards the end of the roll, it starts to flip them. 1, 3, 4, 5. And then we go ahead and pull that all the way forward. And then another nice thing that ends up happening when we do the Cruffles is the cut edges on this Deco mesh are confined within the curls. So you have no real raw edges that would cause an awful lot of fraying to happen. I cut my Deco mesh with the wood burning tool, and what that does is on a, like, this is the Deco polypropylene mesh. When you use the wood burning tool down the middle to cut it, it seals the edges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that helps keep your frays at a minimum. Doesn't make them go away completely, but I would say like 99%. 1, 3, 4, 5. And then we just pull that towards us.
All right, Carrie, now this is not for sale. This is she's actually making this Halloween wreath for our daughter, Kaylee.
If you're interested, you can message me if you want one done. I just had her stop by because she's like, hey, I need a Halloween wreath. So I was like, okay, well, let's do a live, and we'll show everyone how to make it.
And a couple gals said they like your hair up.
It's just
and
one of those.
It's cute, like your hair up.
Thank you. It's called Don't Feel Like Curling My Hair Today. 1, 2, 4, 5. You know those days. Sometimes you just throw it up and that's just where it stays. It's a lot cooler too because we're 96 today. 3, 4, 5. So we don't get our fall-like weather until November, the first week in November. So that one just kind of went, So let's see if we can, it just kind of ruffled. Yeah, while I was trying to open my next pipe cleaner, I just kind of let it go. It felt like a spring just going.
Roberta asked, what size do you cut the mesh? Is this 25 or?
This is 25 inch. 25. So if you're going to do a cruffle, it needs to be at least 25 is the minimum, 30 or 35. It just depends, like if you have really good deco mesh like I do here, it's the heavy foil, and then this is the high foil metallic. You don't need to overcut your deco mesh. So if you have thinner mesh that may not provide as much coverage, I would go 30 to 35.
Georgia said, love the orange and black deco mesh.
Isn't that pretty? I was going through my 10-inch deco mesh stuff going, wow, I have a lot of really pretty patterns that I need to use. Otherwise, they just sit there until next year. And then I keep telling myself, well, that's nice, I need to use that. So we want it to have a lot of sparkle. And I don't worry about the gaps, like, I'll show you when I flip this around. I don't know if you want to zoom in, Steve. Right here. Sometimes you get little gaps. So once we finish pushing it all together, it kind of pushes all your cruffles together. They will basically start filling in the holes themselves.
Gotcha. And Cindy Harrell said, mailed your signs out yesterday.
I know, I got my notification. I'm super excited. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Trying to get everything ready. So I just sent, well, Kaylee gets the advantage because she's like 9 houses down from me. Caitlin, I have to mail all of her stuff up to Modesto, otherwise it's a 5-hour drive to drive all the way up there. So going through all your Halloween decor or fall decor, they kind of find things they want. So like, hey, we need a wreath for our front door for Halloween. I'm like, no, you're not using last year's wreath. You're using something new this year. So come sort through Mom's sign bin and pick something out. 1, 2, 4, 5. And this should go fairly quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do you guys have any questions I can answer for you while I'm doing this? I know it takes a while to pop through, but I think these colors will look really good together. I didn't want to go solely black, and that's why I kind of cut the darkness with the orange and black high foil. So it'll kind of break it up so it's not too dark. 2, 3, 4.
That's nice, Kay. She said we've had fall weather here the last few days here in southwest Mississippi. It's 5:09 p.m. Central Time. It's 73 degrees. So that's nice.
We don't even get that at night.
Yeah.
I think it'll get down to about 74 until...
It'll start dropping now.
No. We're supposed to have 96-degree temps. Like when I opened up the weather, so one of the first things I do in the morning is check the weather. We're at 96-degree temps for like the next week. So granted, that could change, but it's kind of depressing to look at the same temperature. Just sunshine and 96. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we could use the rain. We could use the moisture. We're still dealing with a bunch of fires out here. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep. Amber said, where do you buy most deco mesh ribbons? Or deco mesh slash ribbons? Such pretty varieties you have.
Craft Outlet, believe it or not, is usually my go-to source because they have the cheapest shipping minimum. So if you have at least $69 in your cart, your order ships for free. So for me, that's a huge savings. A lot of the other places have higher minimums, but usually it's just trying to place an order, a full order, through one particular company, you know, to hit that minimum.
And then Roberta asked, Are you using only one roll of each?
Yes.
Yeah, because she's using 2 different colors. She's not going through a full roll.
3, 4, 5. You go through quite a bit.
Yeah.
So when you think about that, it's 9 pieces at 25 inches out of a
360 inches.
Yeah, 360, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Rolls. So I probably have like a third of the roll left on each, which is fine. I usually store open rolls, and then if I need a couple pieces of something cut, I always, before I open, it's like mom's in the cereal cabinet, right? Before you open a new box of cereal, you gotta make sure you eat the other ones that are open. So for me, it's look and see, do I already have black open? Do I already have this open from another design? And then pull from those first. And I've gotten lucky sometimes where I have enough leftovers on rolls to finish a design that I don't need to open a new roll. I need it black. So I'll just go ahead and put this right in its orange spot.
Yeah, right, Kate. She said it's not difficult at all to order $70 worth of material from Craft Outlet for free shipping.
Yeah, it's really not. I mean, that's like basically 2 complete designs. But I usually always shop off of the clearance side. I always check clearance, or I always look at what's new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I usually will pick out signs. That's the scary thing, right? Not just sticking to my shopping list. And then looking at whatever, oh, this is really pretty ribbon. I haven't seen this. Okay, I'm gonna order a roll. Just a roll. Okay, maybe 2. Because what if I like it and I want to use more of it? That's the whole downside. Okay, black and black. I think I've been following these. See why having your pipe cleaners helps? Like, it keeps me on task of where I need to be. 2, 3, 4, 5. Chip clip. And then
Robin, she asks, is there a wood burning tool you recommend? Not really, because we've used a couple of them now. As long as it has a adjustable temperature gauge.
They can get it to, I think I cut my mesh at 425. So you need to have one that goes at least to 425. I will post the link for the one that I got off of Amazon. I think it's $22, and it comes with all the
little tips.
The tips. Not that you ever need more than one, but if you're looking, that's probably going to be the cheapest route to go. So yay! We'll be able to put this on her door tonight. 3, 4, 5. Which means that if Kaylee gets one, Caitlin's going to want one. That's usually the way it goes, right, Kaylee? She'll be like, you made one for Kaylee. Well, that's because she's right down the street. I don't have to ship it to her. But yeah, they're fun. So, contrary to the fact of me saying, oh, I'm not going to be doing any more Halloween, sometimes you have people that are like, oh, can you make us one? Then I'm like, sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have 3 more after this. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will move on to making our bow. Will be our next, what we're doing next. What do you guys think of the colors so far, the way that this is looking? Do you like the color palette?
Yeah, they already said they're very pretty colors, the black and orange.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have done this on a Halloween, like a witch hat too.
Well, that's awesome, Barbara. She said she sold 4 Halloween wreaths over the weekend.
That's amazing. Good job.
And then Edie said, I just finished a custom Halloween wreath order. Awesome.
Nice job, Edie.
Hi, Peggy. Hi, gals joining. Kat decided to do like a surprise wreath tutorial today because she was already doing a wreath for her daughter. Our daughter.
I was like sitting here with her cutting out the materials. I'm like, we should just put the camera on, do a quick live. show everyone what we're making. And then we're good. Otherwise, I just sit here and I just talk to her.
Yeah, Kate said love the black and orange. Sherry said love the colors and the sparkle.
Yes, the
Cindy
high
said
foil
love the
really
colors.
works.
Della
So
said
yeah,
love it.
the orange and the black metallic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that really gives you, with having the foil, like every other, it's every other row.
Jennifer and Beth said love the colors, the color palette.
I think traditional Halloween colors is good.
Orange and black really pops together.
They really do. Okay, this one is our last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And see how you can see it does create a very full wreath base. So it gives you the look. So sometimes you could look at a picture of this and think that this was done with curls. This is just that Cruffle. 5. And pull it all together. And last one. Right in here. And then before I start the bow, I'll go through and cut out the center pipe cleaners so that when we're done with the bow, we can just put the bow and sign on. 4, 5.
Yeah, thanks gals for asking. The smoke is much better today, but we still have a couple fires in the area, so it just depends on how the wind blows. But it's better today.
Sometimes it's in the evenings that we get hit with the smoke the worst. Like we start off with clear blue skies and then by the end of the night it's all smoky.
But we're not in danger at all. They're pretty far away.
Yeah, I think I shared it on my Instagram page that we're about 40 minutes drive time to, that's just to Wrightwood. That's where the Wrightwood fire is.
Yeah.
Or what do they call it? I don't even know.
El Dorado. One's called El Dorado, another one's...
The El Dorado fire is the one in Oakland, which is where our apple picking places are.
Yeah.
And then the Bobcat fire is the one up in the forest. Yeah, that's the one that we get really hit hard with. 3, 4.
Hi Fran, hi gals, just joining.
Totally and completely unexpected. So, a lot of times I just get bored. I'm sitting around, I'm like, I don't have anything to do. Let's make a wreath.
And hi Diane, she said hi from the UK.
Hi Diane, whereabouts in the UK? Okay. So
That means it's around 1 o'clock in the morning your time, so you're up pretty late. Huh?
8 hours.
8? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's around 11. That's right, around 11.
Okay. So I'm pulling all of my pipe cleaners to the front so I can find them. Okay, so we just took out the 6 on the inside. So I'm going to push that to the side and grab my Bodabra. And so, like I said, just to recap where the ribbons all came from, Kringle Designs for the black with the pumpkin. The Harlot or Houndstooth came from Craft Outlet as well. Black and orange plaid with the raised white stitching, Kringle. The diagonal Harlequin was Kringle. This black and white Harlequin is the Wreath Shop, and then just the solid black canvas was from Kringle as well. So I think what we were doing is this is the way, like when I was having her pick ribbons, I was showing her how to do it like this so that you can see what color is going to lay on top of or next to each other. So it's like come up with a pattern or design that you want. And I think, let's see.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Sherry.
What's that?
She said, we haven't had clear blue skies in a couple weeks. The smoke does get worse at night. Your fires have sent a lot of smoke to Texas.
Well,
So it's going across the country. Yeah.
It really is. Okay, so we're going to do the pumpkins on the bottom. So the first thing you want to do is give that finished edge by doing dovetail. So you bring your wired edges together, and then you're going to cut from the folded side down to your point in the wire. So depending upon how deep you want your bee to be is where you'll place your scissors on your ribbon, and then it gives you the really nice finished edge. So we're going to start off doing these at 10-inch tails. This is going to make a pretty full bow. So with the bow dabber, it's always going to be about twists. So you start with the right side up, and then as you twist, you've got your wrong side facing you. Then you'll bring it around, do a twist again, and then you measure that loop. You need it 5.5 inches is what I'm aiming for. So this is where I take my bow dabber, keep the center here lined up on the 10, and then as I pull my ribbon out, I can make sure that it hits that 5.5 inch mark. And then the same thing.
Diane, yeah, it's 3:25 here, so we're 8 hours behind you.
And there we go. And then we go out 10 inches, and then we'll finish this one with our dovetail again, which is basically cutting the whole pumpkin's face off. So that one's finished. Okay, now we're doing the houndstooth, and this will be a 9.5 inch tail with a 5-inch loop. Just move these here. You can see. So 9.5 inches, twist. And this one doesn't really have a right or wrong side, but once you get into the habit of making your bows, you know, you get into a groove, then you don't have to like look and go, oh, is that right side up, upside down? So these are 5-inch loops. And then a 9.5 inch tail. I'll go ahead and finish that end. Just like this. And then that one's done. Push this way over there. Okay. Now we're going to do the orange diagonal harlequin. And this one's going to be a 9-inch tail with 4.5 inch loops. So here's 9. And this is just a formula that I've come up with to make a pretty good universal, you know, fluffy bow. So we're gonna go 4.5 inch on my tails. Make sure I get a good twist in there. And then the same thing. It wants to keep twisting the other way. And I'm always checking all of my dimensions. Even though you can kind of get a feel for where it should go, you always want to make sure.
France, thanks for your tip. During the Christmas candy wreath video the other day, I found a tempered glass cutting board at Bed Bath & Beyond. Very happy.
Nice.
We found out our Bed Bath & Beyonds are going to be closing.
Yes, do you know that, Kaylee?
What?
Yep.
Yeah.
Our Bed Bath & Beyond up here is closing by the end of the year.
No, I need to get my school over.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'll do the solid black.
Oh, Lindy Fleek said we just went under fire warning. Where are you at, Lindy?
You see that redwood is under evacuation order?
Yeah.
Like Westfield doesn't live there anymore.
Audrey, try going out and coming back in because we're not closing on our end.
So this is now 8.5 inch, and we're going to do the same. We're going to do a 4.5 inch. So knowing that we've already done the harlequin at 4.5, I don't need to measure it. I just need to put my finger in the inside of this bow and then just kind of pull on it, and then that helps set me off for the right size.
And the Grass Valley, is that
Where's
Northern
that?
California? Where's that at? What part of California is that at?
That central?
Or
Why does
Oregon?
that sound so familiar?
What?
Grass Valley.
Grass Valley.
Isn't that like right when Sweet Caitlin on this?
Could be.
I thought I had. Maybe I didn't have a pin. Uh-oh. No problem. Probably pulled it on another. It's always good. I'm trying to get into the habit of putting my stuff away as I finish with it.
And then Nissy asked, have you done all the ribbons at the same time on a one-sided pattern? I don't know what she means.
All the ribbons at the same time. Maybe like pulling them all together at the same time? Like lining them up and just pulling them?
Yeah, maybe.
I haven't, because I vary the lengths of my loops and my tails. So this one's
I
going
think I know
to
what you mean, yeah.
be 8 inches.
It's hard to do on the dabber. You'd have to do it on the Pro Bow, right?
You
And then you could do 3 or 4 at the same time, 3 or 4 colors at the same
But
time.
then, like I said, all the loops are the same size.
Right.
So I just kind of like this stacked look that you'll get with this, and you'll see when I'm finished. So each ribbon tail is 1/2 inch shorter each time I like add a new color, and then the loops, except for the 2 middle ones, are also 1/2 inch in size.
Yeah, that Lydia said she's up in Northern
California.
I'm hearing the planes come in and take off,
It's
and the
so
fires here are
sad.
still burning in Northern California.
It is so sad.
Right, Susan? She said you need our tropical storm here we're having today.
That's what I know. Someone was saying, I wish we could send you all our rain.
We've been praying for rain.
Yeah, and sadly, no rain in store.
Because it never rains in California.
Just like the song says, right?
Rarely.
Sometimes it does. So the last one, this was going to be a 7.5 inch tail and a 3.5 inch bow.
Then when it does rain 2 inches, they say it's the Great Flood.
Oh yeah, that'll be the thing that we'll hear this year. Because of all the fires now, we can't have any more water, it'll just flood everything.
Yeah, I've got a flood for my 2020 bingo card.
You're funny. Okay, 3.5. And then,
Susan said lots of flooding here in Houston.
so you guys are all getting all the, well now we know where all the water's going.
Yep.
But it would be unheard of for California to get, we used to have desert thunderstorms in our summers, but not anymore.
Yep.
Okay, there's the last one. Okay, now we will get a pipe cleaner. And I'm gonna start with the black because we finished with that harlequin on top. So we just lift your sandwich. So it's all your stacked layers right here. And if you kind of put it like a little V shape, kind of like the Spock, Vulcan, whatever you want to call it, greeting. This way you can kind of hold it, put your pipe cleaners through, and then you're just going to twist it. 4, 5. And that one's all done. Okay, now we shall fluff the bow. And to do that, I've created my own fluff board using a 18 by 24 inch cutting board. This I got from Bed Bath & Beyond. You could simply go to the hardware store and have a piece of wood cut, which is a lot, probably a lot less than this cutting board costs. Put a C-hook in it. If you want to use it as a fluff box with your Pro Bow that have the wires, I've added the nail, or Steve added the nail for me so that you could wrap your wires around here. What the C-hook is going to do is it's going to allow me to take this hook and grab a hold of my pipe cleaner here. So now you guys won't see this. And let me go ahead and screw this back in. Seems like it's come loose. There we go. You know what's funny is this keeps getting almost harder and harder to do. I think I'm bending my C-hook down. So you have it secured. So let me show you. Just like this. So I'll see zoom in. Are you zoomed in?
Yep.
Okay.
I can see it.
So bring it back. And now the only thing you're going to do is separate this stack from this stack. And we're starting from the bottom. So we go down here. Want to make sure everything is in here. So we have our pumpkin ribbon first. So you're going to pull the tail in one direction and the loop in the other, and then go to the other side, trying to get it to sit up, and do the exact opposite. So you have tail here, we're going to go tail here, and then we're going to pull the loop off to the side. So that basically you have tails and loops opposite of each other, and then you go down to the next one. So it's going to be our harlequin. So we're going to take the tails here, so we're going to go opposite. So here's the loop, here's the tail. Back to the other side, I'm going to take my tail and my loop.
Lydia said, love your board, I need to make one. It was really easy to make.
Yeah,
If you have a spare cutting board, super easy.
And then don't worry if it starts to slide around. All we're trying to do is just unstack what we have. So we're going to follow this pattern. So here's our tail and our loop. Go back to the other side. We're going to do loop, our tail, and then loop. We're going to go back to this one. We're following the houndstooth pattern. And then the orange plaid. I'm going to unfold that. And then the one on the top. And then here we go. And now is when you can start pulling your tails around, putting the colors where you want the colors to be.
Fluffing the bows.
Fluffing the bows. Yeah, usually it's just rearranging some of my loops. Opening up the loops on the bottom, because they have a tendency of getting kind of smashed. Just like this. And then to put the little arc back in your ribbon tails, if you think of your fingers like scissors, back in the curling ribbon days, just putting your fingers in those and pulling will kind of put the little arch back in your ribbon. And then, let me go ahead and scooch this around. I know it's going to kind of be difficult to see. Okay, let me lift this up. So this is what we have.
Yep.
Cool?
Yep.
So, now, before I go ahead and take this completely off the board, I want to look at where do I have like primarily a lot of loops. So like where do I have some openings? So like here, I have a lot of openings, and that will be the end that I put my sign on. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Remember, we already removed, I'm going to just kind of eyeball that so I don't lose track of where I'm at. We are going to pull this down, and I'm going to look, where do I want to add my bow? So I know I want it here. Let's grab no pipe cleaners. They're hiding. Back to this side. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to my wreath. Just like so. I kind of need this spun around a bit, like this. There we go. Okay. So you don't want to pull it all the way to the frame. If you pull it all the way to the frame, you'll compress your bow. And then now we have this section with our tails. And now we can add our sign. So knowing that I want my sign where I have those bows that have kind of come together, just kind of separating them all. I'm going to go ahead and add holes to my sign. So basically this is going to go kind of off to the side. Let me look where I want this to go. Just kind of pulling some of this stuff. Let me see. I think I want it right about there. So, let me show you. It's going to kind of go right about there.
Yeah.
So I've got to put holes in my sign so you get your metal hole punch pliers. These are Beadsmith. You can get these on Amazon. They're about $12. These are 1.5 millimeter, but you can get them between 1.5 and 2.0 millimeters. And then you're just going to go ahead and pop a hole in it. And it's just like a hole punch. And then we're going to add our pipe cleaner to the sign. And I have really fat pipe cleaners. I mean, really thick. I'm going to make this one just a touch bigger. There we go. Now it'll go through no problem. As I say that, and it doesn't, get rid of the little metal piece right in the middle. There it goes. I think, yes. So my pipe cleaners come from Shinoda because they're very stiff and thick. And that's just my preference. But Hobby Lobby makes really great pipe cleaners as well. I'm going to make this one just a touch bigger.
Sign came from Three Birds Nest Co.
On Etsy. You can go ahead and pin their shop. Okay. Now we can go ahead and reposition this again. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure I get this wired in right where I want. Did Kaylee leave?
Yeah, she said she would come back.
Okay. I was like, okay. Let's pull this, get this right down to the frame. Trying to hit my crossbar. Kind of fluffing, pulling some of my curls underneath up. Okay. Now let's redo my bow.
Is it etsy.com/shop/threebirdsnestco.com?
Etsy.com/shop/3birdsnest.
That's my problem.
You always forget the shop.
Yeah.
You always have to tell Etsy you want it to go to a specific shop. So there we go so far. So now on the outside edges, we're going to add the harlequin and the pumpkin 2.5 inch ribbon, and those are cut to 13-inch pieces, and I'm going to alternate the colors. So these are already cut, so we can just go ahead and I'm actually going to do the pumpkin on the orange and the black and white on the black, and then that way it'll give it more of a color contrast. And I gave her a list of options. I'm like, do you want tinsel flex ribbon in there? And she's like, nope. So I was like, okay, kind of what do you want to see on the outside?
And they make that sign in round and square.
Yeah, you can get it in a whole bunch of different ways. You can get it in an 8-inch round, I think a 12-inch round. I just prefer the 6, if I'm using a vertical, I like the 6x12 verticals. If I'm doing round, I like the smaller rounds now over the bigger ones. Okay, and all I'm doing, I'm not opening up my pipe cleaners, I'm just adding this right to the existing pipe cleaner. And I'm just pulling the tails down towards the outside edge so they kind of fan away from the sign. Kind of draws your eyes to the outside edge. Okay. There we go. I'll keep that one up. And I just keep spinning around and just keep going. Do you guys have any questions I can answer for you? Keep in mind that if you're interested in joining our private group, the open enrollment is closing at the end of September, which means that through the rest of 2020, you won't be able to join our private group until it opens in 2021. So, can you pin the link to my website?
Yep.
Steve?
Well, I had it pinned before. I've got this
Three Birds Nest.
Three Birds Nest, so I'll go back in and pin it in a couple minutes.
Okay. So it's $17 a month. It gets you 8 additional tutorials through the end of the year. You get copies of materials lists for all the privates and the public lives. You get access to the private group library all the way back to 2018 for any of the designs that I've done from February of 2018 to current. You also get discounts from our vendors like Three Birds Nest, Kringle Designs, Jane's Front Door Decor. So that's all like included in your $17 a month. So if you want to join, before we close the doors, go to the website Steve's posting there, which is KatsCreationsNMore.com. I had to make sure I was wearing that one.
Yep.
And then you'll scroll all the way to the bottom where you will find 2 things to do. One, you will sign up for the recurring payment, which is under the See More tab, and then you'll also request to join the Facebook private group, because that's where we meet. We do just private Facebook lives there. And those are on Sundays at 3 and Mondays at 5. And if you miss those, you don't have to worry about it. Your replays are always available when you guys are ready for them. Okay. Alrighty. We're coming up on the finish line. Like 2 more tails to add.
Okay, I repinned your
Thank
page.
you. I appreciate you.
Once you get to our private group or KatsCreationsNMore.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom. It gives you instructions.
Yeah, I think when I bring that back up in 2021, I'm going to have it at the top of the page. because people usually are like, oh, I can't find it. I went to your webpage and looked. I'm like, did you go all the way to the bottom? Because that's just where the developer put the link. Okay. And the last one. And then we're going to do a couple, after we add our half bows, we're actually going to come in and we're going to embellish this a little bit more. It's something Kaylee wanted for hers, which I normally don't do, but it's nice because it's another option. So we're going to take the Harlequin now, and this is going to go on top of the black and white. And then, oop, I just dropped that. The plaid diagonal is going to go on top of our pumpkin, and these are cut to 17-inch pieces. To do half bow, you bring your 17-inch pieces together, so your tails are together. You come up to about 2 inches. So from here to the end is 2 inches, and then these are going to go directly on top of where we have our Harlequin at. And normally this is where I would, you know, go ahead and spin them around and then cut them off. But she wants additional embellishments on there, so I need to leave my pipe cleaners on.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, gals, just joining. A lot of Texans on tonight.
What time is it in Texas? It is
6, almost 6.
almost 6 o'clock, right? So these just make for a nice, I always look at, like, you can, you know, take 2 different ribbons and put your ribbons together. Like a lot of people you'll see, you know, do 2 different ribbons. But then when you tie that in, I always looked at that and said there was something missing. Like it's an unfinished look. Even though you have these ribbon tails, I'm like, the eye's drawn to the center. What's in the center? So this is where I just evolved the half bows as a way of finishing that look. So they kind of look like awareness ribbons when you're done. So you just kind of put the loop in. I'll go ahead and twist this, my required 5 times, because normally I'd be done. And then you put your loop in, and then you will flip one of your sides back over so that you have these little awareness bows.
Yeah. Susan asks, is the woven yarn pumpkin on a video on YouTube? Woven yarn pumpkin.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So it's funny, I get a lot of people who will comment and say, oh, you should have shown this on a lighter pumpkin, because I think I started with maroon. But if you just kind of fast forward to the end, I actually do it with a light gray so that you can kind of see the process. But yes, those are there as well. So just go to my YouTube, which is KatsCreationsNMore, and that'll pull up my YouTube videos. Those are usually like, when somebody asks me for my video, I always go to YouTube and look. It's so much faster to find them there than scrolling down the list the way that Facebook has it laid out. I wish they allowed us to customize our pages a little bit more, but we're kinda...
That's Facebook for you.
Yeah, it is. 3, 4, 5. We'll open this. She still has her fruit sitting on the table too.
She put the lid on it though.
Huh?
She put the lid on it.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So just again to continue to draw that sparkle. 3, 4, 5. Because I had sparkly ribbon originally for this one. Just like, no, I want pumpkins. No, I want the cats. No, I want this particular. And I was like, okay, whatever you'd like. You just need to pick 2.5 inch, and 4.5 inches, and then she comes in and she had like 5 2.5 inch ribbon and like 8.
So I don't know if you told them earlier, are your 2.5 cut at 14 inches and
13.
your 13, and then your 1.5
17.
is 17. Oh,
Yes.
even longer.
Well, because now, customer preference, right?
Yeah.
She wants them as long as this. So normally they kind of come up just a little bit more so you can see them, but that's the length. So normally I go 14 on the 2.5.
And 16 on the 1.5.
Sometimes I've been doing 17 on these ones.
So Barbie, it's the half bows are cut at 17 inches.
Yeah, the 1.5 are 17. The 2.5 inch tails are cut at 13 inches. Thanks. Okay. Couple more. We have 4 more, and then we can finish our final embellishment. I'm looking at my times. Man, I wish there was a faster way to do. Like, I'm still trying to get my lives down to roughly an hour. It would have been an hour without the additional embellishment. So I'm getting there. It's a lot. Like when I'm making them at home, they take me about an hour and a half to 2 hours because I'm not in any big rush. I'll take my time, pull out my Deco mesh, cut it, put it on, put it away, you know, package it away for storage. Then go in and pull out ribbon. Usually I walk out with an armful of ribbon, and I usually do that 2 or 3 times before I find one I'm really thrilled with. There we go. Oh, like that was upside down. Okay. So yes, I would have finished in an hour. And that's a pretty full wreath for an hour.
Mary said, hi, Kat. Mary is down from San Diego. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary.
You're about 3 hours south of us.
Yeah, enjoying the cool ocean breeze. It's so sad because it's like Steve had off a couple weeks, and because you can't really go anywhere because in California we're still under lockdown restrictions. So either A, you can't go anywhere because things are closed, or wherever we thought about going was on fire. So couldn't take a trip to San Francisco. It was on fire. Not the whole city, just the area surrounding San Francisco, which means the smoke is bad there. Can't go to the mountains because that's where all the forest fires are. So what do? Stay at home. You binge watch TV shows, right?
Yep.
That's pretty much what we
We'll
did.
go out to our favorite Mexican place that has outdoor dining.
Yeah. Okay. So she wants glitter balls on the ends, which is why I left the pipe cleaners here. So I'm gonna leave about 1.5 inches on the pipe cleaners because I don't want them overly long. And we're just gonna put these little styrofoam balls on the end. So where did I get these? Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby, when they were carrying Halloween, actually had Halloween, what they call scatters and fillers. But the Christmas shop also, not the Christmas shop, but Hobby Lobby, you have to go back into the party section to get the black. So we're gonna add a black and an orange styrofoam ball to the end of our pipe cleaners, because that's how she was adding her sparkle. And these will get glued back on. So you just basically poke the hole in the styrofoam ball, and then afterwards, after I'm finished with the live, I go back and hot glue them all on. But that's basically the look that she's going for. I'm just trying to find all the black ones. So that's her way of adding the final sparkle. These go on really quick. Those are always one of those steps too. You always want to make sure you don't forget. Because I've done it a couple times before I'm shipping. I double check everything. You make sure that everything's glued on, that your pipe cleaners are all secure, your bows are all fluffed nicely, and a lot of times you're like, oh, I'll get to that later, and then you don't. So for the last 3 years, and I think that's why I always still have to have a hand in shipping, is I always want to make sure that it goes out the way that I would want customers to receive it. Everything's nice and pretty and fluffy. Do you guys have any other questions I can answer for you? These are all just mixed. So I have some dark gray, like I know Hobby Lobby has the charcoal gray.
Barbara, this would probably fit in a 22 or a 24. Definitely a 24-inch box. Maybe a 22.
I can tell you when I'm done. Let me, because I can get these going pretty quick. As long as I can find the black ones in the thing, it goes pretty quickly. And I guess I could have trimmed these off while I was going. And a mix and match. They come in 2 different sizes, so sometimes I'll put little ones, a little one with a big one. But they kind of just add a nice little fun, unexpected look.
Okay, the half bows are on the outside row.
Just the outside.
Just the outside row. There's none on the inside because you got the sign and everything
And
else.
the bow. Yeah, the sign takes up 1/3 and then the bow takes up the other third.
And Arlene, she's putting in what are called vase fillers or
They're glittery styrofoam
glitter balls. Yeah.
That's
They
really,
just poke right into the end.
yeah, like
And then
literally like this.
Barbara, that's funny because the first video Kat did was on how to box a wreath, but we haven't done one since.
I have.
Have you?
There's 2 in there, yeah. One
it?
is like the revised version of, okay, this was like, that was my
Are they
how to
really
get
on
over
YouTube?
being afraid to do a Facebook Live. Yeah, I believe so.
So there should be then. There should be
Yeah.
a video on how to box a wreath. Yep.
Yeah. Things you put in the box. I guess now I could probably do it because we've changed. I'm all done. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
Now we're shipping everything FedEx because it's usually the cheapest way to ship. But let me show you what it looks like. Measure this. And I'll tell you what this would fit in. Look. It's right at the 24. So this, when I'm kind of like, okay, so from here to here is 22 inches. You could fit it in a 22. You would just have to, and remember 22 inches on the diagonal is a little bit bigger. But 24 inch would be good.
24 by 24 by 6.
Yes, always by 6. So let me show you what it looks like on the door.
And the wreath she did on the door, she did in her private group just yesterday.
Yeah, the dog paw print.
The dog's paw print. I got
Look, it
Halloween.
even has a reversible sign. So when you're out of candy, you could flip it. So yeah. There we go. There's that. Okay.
Now kid is going, maybe I want that one.
That was really cool.
I know, but it's a dog one. You have cats, so
I could
here's
also do
your
a cat
cat one. Huh?
There could also be a cat one.
They're
Okay.
good. They're good, they're good. Let me pull this one back a bit. So, there we go. So our sign is not impacted at all. And then for picture purposes, you always want to make sure that everything is all nice and pretty. All your ribbon is out. Because even though this isn't mine, you still want to make sure it's all nice and pretty for your photos. We've got gravity.
I really like it.
Do you like it?
I really like it.
Okay. Do you like the colors you picked?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
You?
Yeah, it came out good. And we added all the little sparkles, the little balls.
Very cool. I bet everybody on my block is gonna think that I'm a witch.
It's really good. It looks very kind of vintagey. I think the black and white kind of keeps the rustic feel. And then you still have the traditional black and orange for the, whatchamacallit. Okay, so what questions, if any, do you guys have that I can answer before I let you go?
Yeah, that's good. Oh, we had to move the light because it was getting a really bad glare on the sign.
Oh, yeah, because I think we have the door kind of
It's
angled.
Yeah.
So, let's do it that way.
Oh no.
David said, didn't know you were on. Thankful for replays. Yeah, she just did a surprise today because she was doing a wreath for her daughter.
Yeah, for Kaylee.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wanted the.
I'm special.
So is the glare there? Do you see a glare?
Not anymore because we moved it.
No, because I turned the door.
Well, we still have the light in the same spot. So no, there's no glare.
Okay, cool. All right.
The sign says Black Cat Sanctuary.
Salem, Massachusetts, since 1692, welcoming the strange and peculiar.
Yep.
So she has a feral colony of black cats that all like congregate in her house. And so I was teasing her. I was like, "Wow, you got like you're fostering black cats."
I've got 4 black cats and 1 gray cat. The gray cat's name is Reginald. I have a black and orange cat named Pumpkin, but her tail is slightly cut off. I have Small Boy, which is a black kitten. I have Gigi, who is the tallest and biggest black cat, and I have a new one that comes around every so often.
Is he black?
He's a black cat. I don't know what his name
See?
is yet.
So a black cat worked really well. So we'll take pictures of this, and then when we put it up on Kaylee's store, I'll share photos with you of what that looks like.
Yep.
So, all right. Any other questions I can answer?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this impromptu live. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys on Friday, where we're doing the Christmas tree wreath on the Unique in the Creek board with lights. So, hope you guys will join me for Friday at 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Okay. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.